Live.
Going live with who?
Green.
Live feed. So, we're live. Welcome to the Hangout for the Department of Visual Art, Communication and Design at Andrews University. Hopefully, we'll have some potential students that come and hang out with us. And we're really excited about talking about our programs and introducing some of the faculty that we have and some of the really amazing areas to study, to get potential careers in. I think our department is one of the most exciting departments there is in terms of opportunities for really exciting careers in creative fields. We have design, which means print design, corporate, anything in the world that is bought or sold or advertised is designed in some way, and we teach graphic design here. We have opportunities to get into advertising and a lot of different areas in advertising. It could be doing public relations, it could be communications, it could be art direction. You may learn to be a project manager for an advertising firm. Lots of really exciting career opportunities for people that are interested in advertising. We also teach writing, and so this is lots of different kinds of writing. There's news writing, media writing, blog writing, writing for television, writing for news, writing for magazines, all kinds of really exciting opportunities for people that love to do creative writing. There's opportunities to move into careers in the news, and this could be writing the news for media like television. It could be producing news programs. It could be learning how to operate equipment in broadcast journalism, like the cameras. So if you like the idea of being either in front of the camera or behind the camera, if you're a little bit more introverted, either of those opportunities are possible career choices that a major in our department could lead to. We have opportunities for film, and this could mean something like getting into documentary film, and it could be producing, directing, working with lighting, working with sound, working with editing. There's all kinds of really exciting careers within the realm of film and documentary film. And since we do broadcast journalism, there's also the opportunity to do video as well. My area is fine art, and we have ceramics and sculpture and illustration and painting. What I do in fine art is I make teapots like the ones that are behind me, as well as other useful items for consuming beverages out of like this mug that I made. This is Ceramics Monthly from last December, and in this Ceramics Monthly there's an article about my work, Steve Hansen's Trojan Vessels. And so I've been in pretty much all of the major ceramic magazines nationally, and I think I've been in over 100 exhibitions in some of the best galleries in the United States. Kate Friesed is a painting teacher. She'll be talking a little bit about painting in a little while. You can also get involved in photography, and photography is a really interesting field because it's not just taking pictures with your iPhone. We teach you how to use studio lighting, how to do commercial photography. Also, there's some very interesting careers that are available in doing things like retouching, and if you're great at Photoshop, there's very, very lucrative jobs that are out there for creating images for media. There's also really fun things like retouching and also styling. We've had a number of our majors that have gone on to be the people that style the photos in major photo shoots. And so those are all possibilities that you might not think of with photography. So what I'm really excited about this evening is the opportunity to introduce some of the faculty members that teach here at Andrews University and that represent some of these areas that I've just touched on a little bit. We have Dave Sherwin, who's going to be talking with us about some of those career options in photography, and he'll show some of the student work, both recent graduates who've gone on to get really great jobs in photography and also some current student work. Paul Kim is going to talk with us about documentary film. Paul is a documentary filmmaker. One of the things that's great about our faculty, by the way, is that these are all professionals in their field, and so they have experience. They practice what they teach. This is definitely not a if you can't do it, teach it sort of faculty. This is we know how to do it, and we teach it sort of faculty. Carrie Freestead, as I mentioned, is a wonderful painter, really great at teaching students how to paint well, and she's going to be showing you some of the paintings that have been done by recent graduates and current students. She's in the studio right now. Felicia Datus is currently a graduate student in our communication program, but she also has professional experience as a radio on-air personality as well as a production person in radio, so she has professional experience. She does some teaching for us, and she's getting her master's degree. Doug Taylor, last but not least, Doug is going to be talking with us about design, and Doug has a wonderful career working with some really big name brands, Kellogg brands and some other brands that you'd really be acquainted with in national campaigns, and he brings that experience to bear in all of his graphic design classes, and we have a fantastic track record of placing our graphic design students right away in careers in graphic design that are very fun, lucrative, and very rewarding kinds of careers. And so I'm really excited to hang out with you and introduce you to our faculty and some of the programs that we offer here at Andrews University. A couple of really exciting things that are sort of overarching. One is that the university is being very supportive of our department right now. We are going to be purchasing over $200,000 of new broadcast media equipment. We're talking about top-of-the-line cameras for video and broadcast production. We are renovating our gallery, and we also have this great scholarship opportunity. So if this is your first time in any college, all you have to do is declare a major in our wonderful department, all these areas, any one of these areas that I just talked about, and you get $1,000 a semester for up to 5 years. So this could be worth $10,000 to you just to come to Andrews and declare a major in our department. And this scholarship is over and above any other scholarship money that you might be getting from the university. So it's a great time to come to Andrews and to be part of this really exciting department and take advantage of some of the opportunities that we have here. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dave Sherwin, our professional commercial photography teacher, who is a veteran of many years of working both as a teacher and as a professional photographer. So Dave, could you tell us a little bit about what's going on in photography?
Sure, thank you. Okay, I'm Dave Sherwin, and I have been a commercial photographer for more than 30 years, and I just want to show you a bunch of my students' work because I think it's great, and you'll love it. Here, we'll start a little PowerPoint here. Can you all see that? Hopefully you can. We'll go up here to the top. Okay, so I thought you might want to see some of the latest work that our students are doing. Here is our studios. I'm in a studio right now. You saw some lights behind me. That's one of our studios, and here's our studio upstairs, one of them. And you can see some of the lighting equipment. We have about between $60,000 and $100,000 of equipment in each studio, and we have 4 studios. Here is some of the latest work. So this was just done last week, and it's owners.
Dave, we can't see the PowerPoint.
You can't see the PowerPoint at all?
No.
Okay. So can you see it now?
No.
Huh. So it was working the other day. So what?
Screen share, Dave. Try the screen share. On the left-hand side, that green button, and then click desktop. And then find your...
Let me get rid of this. Sorry. Okay, screen share. There we go.
No, I still see you.
Now do you see it?
Yeah, there you go.
We can see it now.
You can see it now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Now can you see it?
No, we
Nope.
can't.
Now you can't? Now you can?
No,
No.
we cannot.
No, we can't. We could for a little bit, and then it shut off.
Make sure you do the desktop and then navigate to it.
There.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, but just leave it on the presenter view because it,
Okay.
it turns off if you take it off of the.
Okay. So here's a little PowerPoint that I put together. So here's some images that you can see some of our students are doing now. This was just done this last week, like I said. And these are owners with their dogs. And it's amazing how some look like each other, how they look a lot like each other. So this is Jessica Felicio that did this. And then you learn all about lighting and portraiture and still life and good things like that. This image has been highly retouched, and these ones haven't so much. This is more about lighting. So you can see some of our students' work and how you can control the image, how you can control the lighting, and it's all about storytelling, which is kind of cool. You see a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and other storytelling aspects. This is American Gothic, if you know the painting American Gothic by Jacqueline. Okay, Nina Marie Rambo graduated almost 2 years ago now, and she worked for DirecTV. Now she works for AT&T because AT&T bought out DirecTV in New York City. This is just a little selfie shot that I had her shoot of herself. And she does amazing retouching. So this is some of the retouching that she's done. And they picked her up in New York City. She makes over 6 figures and is doing very well. This was 2 shots she did for the local shelter here and retouched them heavily. Don't let them get stuck here. These are some other work that she's working on now for NFL and different things like that. Emily Lau, she graduated with a BFA in photography, and she's working over here 8 miles down the road at Johnson Rohoff as a stylist. In school, she loves styling, but most of the stylists that they have become photographers first, and then they go into styling. And Emily makes more money than I do straight out of the gate. This is stuff that she has styled for Cabela's, and she has to find all these little props. She says, Dave, I can't believe that they pay me to go shopping. I love shopping. So these are some things. And then Kelsey Davis graduated 4 years ago, and she works also at Johnson Rohoff. And she started out as a styling assistant, and now she's moved all the way up to art director, so she art directs photo shoots. And then Levon Katenko is in Mishawaka, and he's a photo assistant, just graduated a year ago, and he's helping Larry shoot these $1 million RVs. In fact, I just talked to him today, and they have several $1 million RVs in right now that they're shooting. So you can see some of the work that he helps assist with. We have 3 degrees in photography, a BFA in photography. We have a BS in photography. The BFA is more where you can go on and get a master's level. It's more fine art. It also has 4 art histories, which I think is fantastic. In fact, all the students that you just saw, they all got a BFA in photography. Then there's a BS degree in photography, which is a 4-year degree also, but it's more commercial, a little bit more business and that kind of stuff. Then there's an AS in photography, which is a 2-year which if you don't want to take so much general eds, that it's more just the solids. And then we work with designers a lot. So you can see this is what the photographer did. And then we work with Doug and Diane, who are the design teachers, and we work with their students, and they put in the design. So you can see some of the design. Like here's the bubble wrap family for Allstate. And another bubble wrap guy, pillow guy. This guy here, we had him fall down the stairs 40 times. Of course, he fell into a nice big, what do you call one of those things? A mat, so that he wouldn't hurt himself. But we had to clean up that drink and throw in those papers 40 times before we got him to do this, so that the designer could put this kind of stuff in there. Here's another part of the series. Here's some more stuff. And then we work on Envision magazine. This is the magazine we just worked on this last week, the next issue, where we work with the writers, the designers, and the photographers. We all work together. And we're one of the only school that does something like this. And so I could go on and on and on. There's a lot more to tell you, but I'm out of time. Thanks.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. And now we'll move on to Paul Kim, who's going to talk to us about documentary film and film generally. Take it away, Paul.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Yeah?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, my name is Paul Kim. I've been at Andrews. This is my 4th year now, and I've been really excited to launch the film program here at Andrews University. And a big part of why I came here, perhaps I can talk this a little bit better than some of the others, is the fact that we had such a strong visual art department. That includes design, fine arts, which we have a long tradition of, but also in photography. One of the things that is fairly new, but that technology has been trending, is this convergence between not only all the visual art areas, but especially you see a lot of interaction between photography and film. For those of you who've done any photography, you've noticed probably that almost every single camera does video, and does video extremely well. So part of why we launched the film program here was because we had such a strong photography program. And what I can say is that we're one of the few programs in the country that has a film program that's tied so closely with all the other visual arts. And that's a really clear advantage, because you won't see that anywhere else. And the marketplace is really looking for people who have multifaceted skills. So unfortunately, I'm not, video doesn't render and play back so well on these live chats. I'm going to try and just do a really quick screen share here. I believe you guys, oh, okay. I don't know if that worked out here. Let me try one more time. Okay. Okay, screen share it. What are you guys saying?
It's just going on and on forever.
Yeah, what is that?
Just move move the Google Hangout downwards and move to the background.
Out of the background?
Just move it downwards and screen share.
Okay. So let's try that again. And I will open up another page here. Sorry, it's probably not all that interesting. But you notice here, Andrews University Film, if you can all see this, let me know if you can.
Yes. Yep.
We have a video page, and this is tied to our website as well. If you went to our website, you've probably seen a lot of these things. But I definitely encourage you to spend some time on our Vimeo page, because I do post a lot of the most recent work, as well as work that we've had ongoing for the last couple years. And so you'll see, like, our most recent assignment was a few projects that we did where students were to reenact through lighting and through the creation of a scene. They were to reenact a famous painting. And so it's not going to play back too well here, but there's a film here, and I might be able to find a still image where our students were having a lot of fun reenacting a few paintings here. Steve Hansen, do you recognize this? Okay, if you guys can see that still frame.
Looks like a Frida Kahlo to me.
Yeah, and then at the end, we end with this shot, which is the girl with the pearl earring. So we have a lot of fun here, and there's a lot of different projects here that you can see. Senior projects, music videos, fiction, non-fiction. This is a private film. If you want a link, I'll send it to you. This is a student actually making a horror film. That's not what we do a lot here. But there's a whole variety of projects that students are generally working on. And let me just stop the screen share so that you guys don't all freak out. But right now I'm sitting in one of our rooms. We have a lot of facilities. Dave Sherman, who you just heard from, is just past this door and down the hall. Right now I'm sitting in one of our smaller advanced classrooms where we have our finishing suite. And if you see someone hovering in the background, this is one of our alumni. This is Joseph. He and I just finished filming the entire day around campus. We were doing some time lapses. And if you've ever done a time lapse, they're really fun, really cool. We were exploring hyperlapses, which is something that you should Google and check out as well. But in our finishing room, you notice that we have really a full-on color grading suite. For some reason, the monitors, you can't see all that well. I don't know why. If I tilt the screen like this, it shows up. But these dials here, these are all professional grade finishing platforms in which you would do color grading on our Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve suite here, which we have set up in several different studios. The way this room is configured, if you look around, this is kind of a classroom environment. We have a monitor up here. If you see, this monitor actually is our preview monitor. And then on this side of the wall, we have another monitor. And it's just a way in which students can actually see the graphical user interface and see the program out from the computer screen. So we're really well outfitted in this program. We have a studio just down the hall where we do a lot of projects. I thought I might demo right here. I've got a light set up right above me. This is a top light, in which that's why you see some shadows down here under my eyes. We have a whole variety of different classes in which you can take, but again, a lot of this is in relationship with photography, with design, with the fine arts. So there's a lot of really good interaction going on between our students. One of the things that you'll see if you end up in one of our fields is that collaboration is so incredibly important, and yet many universities don't do collaboration all that well. Collaboration is built into our program, and that's one of the things that you'll, whether you work with a team that you click with well or not, you'll be learning how to work better with other creatives so that you can do more creative work. So anyhow, this is one space. If you ever were to do a tour, we could show you the rest of our facilities. We're really proud of the facilities we have here at Andrews. As Steve mentioned, we're also strengthening and broadening out our broadcast television program. So between all of these different areas, you're going to learn a whole lot if you were to enroll and attend here at Andrews. But obviously, we can't cover a whole lot in 5 minutes. So we encourage you to get in touch with me. I love to chat online with you video-wise. If you want to make a phone call, if you just want to correspond with me, that's perfectly fine as well. But that's it for now. I'll sign off. I got to get ready to plan for a film festival trip that we're doing next week, or actually in just a few days. We're leaving for the True False Film Festival. We try to do 1 or 2 major film festivals every single year. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it for our students.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul. Next, we'll hear from Carrie Priestland, who I think is going to show you our painting studio. So, Carrie, why don't you talk to us about the fine arts?
All right. Well, I'm in the Intro to Painting studio right now. So if you look over here, you can kind of see some of the stuff that my students have been working on. My Intro to Painting class works primarily in oil paint. So at Andrews, within the Fine Art section, we have two main areas, and that's going to be two-dimensional and three-dimensional. So the two-dimensional area really works with a lot of oil paint. There's drawing and then illustration, and then in three-dimensional, as Steve mentioned before, we work with sculpture and ceramics. So within the fine art core, the students go through and they're able to work with kind of getting to know the materials and really working with different aspects of whatever it is that they want to create. And the goal of the fine art program is to basically create a finished body of work that allows them to put it forward into like a gallery setting. So other kind of venues that they could work in with a BFA in fine art is if they wanted to work with like curating, or if you wanted to get into illustration, or you know, things like that. So we have a number of students who've been through the program that have been accepted into different MFA programs, and that includes Nadine Pierre. I'm actually going to try to show her website really quick. I can figure this out. You guys seeing this?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So Nadine went to the New York Academy of Art, and she's currently working in Brooklyn. So she has some really great paintings on here. In addition to this, I also have some work. Oh, I'm going to just show really quick Schaller Gallery. This is one of our other alumni who began a gallery here in St. Joseph, and this shows some amazing ceramics, all different kinds. So that's another option that a student would have with that kind of a career in terms of the degree. And then I'm going to switch to some of our more recent alumni. You guys getting this?
Yes.
So this is work by one of our most recent BFA graduates. She graduated in December. She did both ceramics and painting. Oh, okay. So she did both ceramics, and then she had a gallery show that showed also paintings. And she also was able to start working with porcelain while she was working with Steve, and started throwing, I believe this is two different kinds of slips that she tinted with underglazes or something. And then this is her, oops, my bad. This is her painting series. So this is the paintings that she worked with me on. So she basically would go through and create like a project proposal for both professors. For me, at least, she would outline what it is that she wanted to create. And for this series, she was really looking at psychoanalysis and the human condition. So a very existential series where she was really exploring this kind of like uncomfortable, sort of tense facial reaction that people tend to hold. Now this is Renee Hunt's work, which is our other BFA painter that I had go through recently. She finished in December as well, and she was looking at the concept of the selfie and really just kind of playing with this sort of blocky application of the paint, really kind of bringing it away from that digital presence that it has. Then we have Abigail's work, who she was one of our recent ceramics graduates, and she worked with these really great helmets that she created out of ceramics to bring in feminine attributes that she wanted to combine with the work to sort of bring together the different aspects of male and female. So a lot of embroidery added to the pieces, but all of the helmets were created out of ceramic. Here. So where is this? Okay. All right. So if you wanted to see some of the stuff that my students are doing currently, you can kind of see they go through different stages of historical painting. We do an indirect painting. So right now what they're working on is the underpainting, and then they're working on the second layer, which is the layer in color. So we can kind of peek through some of the stuff that they're working on. Over here I have a student who's a current BFA student right there working on the larger piece in the corner, and she's working on this big installation where these pieces are going to be hung from the ceiling in order to mimic the sky more so. So in terms of how the students progress, usually what they do is end up applying for an MFA program. We've had a number of students who've done that, or they have different variations. So for example, we have one alumni who is working at the Success Academy in South Bend. She's an art education student, graduate. So there's art education as well. I think that's pretty much it. So.
All right, thanks very much, Carrie. I appreciate the view from the studio. I always love going up there and seeing what students are up to. It's amazing stuff. Next up, we're going to have Felicia Davis talk to us a little bit about sort of what it's like to be a communication student, and also about some of the careers that are possible in communication. So, Felicia, take it away.
Hi, thank you, Dave. And listening to all the professors, I was just thinking, if I wasn't a student, I'd definitely want to be a student. But my experience being here so far, it literally being here at Andrews and in the communication department and visual arts and design, it opens the entire world to you. The doors of the world is just opening, and you're meeting all these different persons. For me, I've had experience in writing since I've been here, video, travel, the interactions in class and the people that you meet, being able to assist professors and teaching, so it teaches me much more. Meeting persons from all over the world, and being in the department also teaches you how to be flexible. You have to wear many hats. Since being a part of the department, I've been privileged, blessed to be a part of the Envision magazine, being the feature editor. And I got to interview a former soldier of the Air Force, an assistant for the new film Hacksaw Ridge coming out, that's directed by Mel Gibson. Also got to interview a student from Egypt who's actually there during the whole Egyptian uprising. So you get all these different experiences, and it just opens your mind to all these things. And so that magazine, well, that issue is going to be published this coming September. I also got to publish in Lake Union magazine and on a website, theprayingwoman.com, and all of that being possible because of being in the department. Also with video, before coming here, even though I had a little bit of experience with video, being in the department gives you more opportunities to do so. The equipments are available to students. Of course, you can't be careless with it, but in our classes, so we get to integrate the use of video in the classes so you can learn more and have that experience. Travel, in October last year, 2015, we got to go to Virginia for the Society of Adventist Communicators, and we met communicators from all over, not just North America, but the world. So that was really good. And the latest opportunity that I had was working with two professors, Dr. Desireen Brebner in particular and Dr. Rachel Williams-Smith, and I'm assisting with the classes for Dr. Rachel. That's Advanced Media Writing and Intro to Communication. So I'm learning much more than I actually anticipated, and The experience is invaluable. You can't put a price on it, and I have definitely grown professionally, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, all because I'm a part of this department.
All right, thank you very much, Tricia. I appreciate that. And last but not least, we're going to have Doug Taylor, professional graphic designer, talk about his work with graphic design and some of what he teaches in those classes here at Andrews University.
All right. Hey, guys. I'm Doug Taylor. When I was sitting right where you guys are in high school, I was thinking, what could I possibly do for a career? I liked creative writing. I liked art. I liked doing things with the computer. I liked psychology. I liked photography. There were so many different interests I had. I knew I wanted to do something creative, but could I actually make a living at it? And my parents were worried about it. I was worried about it. What could I possibly do? And then I discovered graphic design, and it was like the world of creative possibilities opened right before me. If you're anything like me, when I was where you were, you may not fully understand what a graphic designer does. So what I'd like to do is show you some work that our students are doing, while also at the same time showing you different career options. So actual projects and future career possibilities. It's a double whammy. Give me 1 second, I'll pop this up on my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Awesome. So what does a graphic designer do? And again, all of these are pieces that were designed by various students. Web design, one of the hottest areas. It's got a huge amount of growth. If you've ever been on the web, which I'm sure you have, everyone's been on the web, you've seen that there are great websites out there and there's some really bad ones. And I tell my students, all you have to do is look at all the bad websites to know that you'll always have a job. Somebody's going to need their website designed or redesigned, and there's lots of possibilities there. Not just web design, but in this case, the student designed the website as well as the package design and things like that. There's app design. That's like the Wild West out there. We've had several recent graduates that just had a minor in graphic design, and both of them are now working as app designers and coming up with what apps look like, how they interact, how people experience apps or websites. And here's some examples of student work. This was an anti-bullying campaign. The students actually designed a whole series of materials from the app to the characters to there was a comic book that was for teaching elementary school students how to deal with situations where they were being bullied. How about graphics for television? And it's a hybrid between film and graphic design. Editorial design, where you're designing magazines. Envision Magazine, as you've already heard, is a publication that we put out here. It's award-winning. Every year since we put this out, we've won awards. And we're not just talking about little awards. The awards that we win, there's 700-800 entries that are accepted. Those are just the ones that are accepted. And we're talking from schools all over the United States. And we have won and dominated those competitions the last few years. And it's been really, really exciting. Our photo students take the pictures. Our designers do the layout and design. And our communication students do the writing. So here in one department, you have this amazing publication, this collaboration just like you experience in the real world. And that's something that you surprisingly don't find at every single school. Here's some more editorial design. Editorial designers, you might also find them designing book covers, which is kind of a really cool area. And even though books and things like that are going digital, same with music, there's still this desire for covers. We love our cover art. It helps sell books, helps sell music when we can see those things. And graphic designers are the ones who make those look so visually appealing, conveying what's on the inside of those books just by what's on the cover. Here's a few examples. Print design in general, everything you see from billboards to brochures is done by a graphic designer. If you see a map on your wall, if you see a book on your shelf, a designer has dealt with it. How about greeting cards? Absolutely. Graphic designers. This was done by one of our recent graduates who now works for a place called Graphique de France, where she does these sort of hand illustrated cards and makes a lot of money doing that. Posters and other types of visual communication. All of those are done by graphic designers. How about advertising? We're the ones who help come up with concepts, and not only that, we make them a reality. And this is an example of where our students worked with photo students again and got the opportunity to actually art direct, which is actually really rare in an undergraduate experience. So both the photographers get experience like they would have in the real world, and so do the designers. Here's another example where a student combined cool hand letter typography with the photography, and this was actually award-winning. It won second out of top 40 typographic designs in the United States in a competition that was a design blog. Brand design, where you do everything from designing the logo to everything in between. Our students get to do that as well. And all of these are real projects. A lot of the logos we do are for real clients, and you actually get paid to do your homework. How exciting is that? We don't get paid professional rates, but you could make a couple $100 doing a logo that you would have to design anyway for your class. And why not get paid to do your homework? This is truly Battle Creek Academy's logo. Our students designed that. We also actually designed a 16-page brochure for them and their website. Business cards, letterhead, anything that you see in print, a graphic designer designs. How about package design? Here's an example of a mock-up a student did. When you're designing package design, you have to think in terms of functionality as well as how it visually appears. 80% of decisions are made for purchase products right when the people are standing in the aisle. So it's a really important area for marketing and for selling items, and a very cool niche for graphic designers. We work with anything typographic, and we make letters actually come alive. It's not just type. It's something visual, something interesting, something exciting. We say I'm sorry better than anybody else. We have critiques where students present their work, we talk about it, and this is for all the different areas. And you get that feedback, and you learn how to talk about your work and develop that thick skin when you're having people question your work. You don't break down in tears. Instead, you're able to defend what you've done and to talk about your reasons. It's really exciting stuff. Let's look at a few recent graduates. One of our recent graduates, Sky Puffer, loved motocross, and he's now working at MSR. And actually, no, I'm sorry. He was headhunted from MSR to Sky Racing. There was a bidding war over him, but this was the work that he did first year out of school. And I'm just going to go through that relatively quickly. And he's living his dream. Now, you may not love motocross, but what's really cool about graphic design is that there's so many different niches that graphic design is needed in. So if you have a passion, like Guy did, you know, in his case, motocross, you can find a way to work graphic design into that. Another one of our students, this was one of his senior project, Tommy Green, he ended up getting an internship at Toda, which is a firm in New York. And it was a really exciting internship. Another one of our students got an internship at GLAMOUR magazine, and she was really interested in fashion and editorial. And after GLAMOUR magazine, she went to VOGUE magazine, even bigger, right? And here's a picture of headquarters in New York City, where she was day in and day out. If you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, you might be somewhat familiar with that experience. And then after that, she went to Burberry. So she took a year off of school. She was doing independent studies with her design teachers and doing this amazing 3-part internship that she went out there and found all on her own. We have another student, former student, who's now working at Liberty in North Korea, or LINK, and he is helping to promote freedom in North Korea. Really exciting nonprofit organization. We have another student who just finished up an internship at Visual Dialogue, one of the hottest design firms in Boston. They get most of their interns and designers from schools like RISD, which is Rhode Island School of Design, one of the top in the world. And their principal designer, he called me last week, actually, maybe 2 weeks ago. And he was asking questions about the student who just finished up his internship because he wants to hire him. And he's like, who are you guys? We haven't heard of Andrews University as a design school. Where is this? And so I got to tell him a little bit about our program. And he was telling me, hey, I'd love it if you sent me more interns, if you ever have anyone coming out this way. So we're making a name for ourselves out there, and these are just a few of our students who have gotten amazing jobs out in the industry. So how does the job market look? Industry growth fluctuates depending on where you're at. Now, if you want to get into newspapers, it's actually down a bit. Well, that makes sense. But in places like web design, app design, 21 to even 32%, depending on the area that you're in, industry growth, which is exciting. Average starting salary tends to be $30,000 to $50,000, and I'm keeping this on the low end. We have students that go out and they start off at $60,000, $70,000, and that's just within the last few years. Average salary for a graphic designer who has experience of 1 to 5 years is typically $48,000 to $98,000 a year. Again, I'm not looking at the top 10th percentile. This is a more reasonable range. And then art directors or creative directors, 90 to 150. The top guys make in the millions, actually. And I have to address this too. Can you use a degree like this to serve God? And the answer is yes, please. Our church needs amazing graphic designers. If you've ever seen some of the materials we put out, you know this to be true. We have students right now that are doing work in the Middle East to help promote the gospel there using graphic design. We're going to be going to India actually this summer, and we're going to be helping some orphanages. The photo students are also going on this, and the documentary film students. And we're going to help 2 different orphanages there so that they can raise money. And last orphanage we did this for brought in millions of dollars after we did this, and just helped provide for so many more children than they were able to do before. Well, that's really all the time I have. Let me switch back to my screen. I want to show you guys one more thing. Going to the infinite screen there. There we go. Okay, I am in the computer lab. I'm going to show this really quick. I've got a student actually working on some stuff right now. Why don't you wave real quick? Say hi. You can see this is our Mac lab, but most of our students actually have their own computers. We do have these awesome dual screen setups where actually some of these, like this one right here, is that pen tablet kind where you can actually draw on the screen itself. Very, very cool stuff. We have some great facilities, but we have really great teachers too. Both myself, Diane Myers, we have worked in the industry. We are still active designers, and we just started this amazing program where it's actually a design business right here on campus. And we pay better than anywhere else on campus, and our students get to work with real clients on real projects and get amazing experience while they're still in school. The money we make from that, we're going to be using for internships and other really exciting situations like that. So that's it for me. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Doug. So we've had an opportunity to introduce a few of the faculty members, somebody from almost every area that we're in. I do have some questions that have come in from people that are watching. Questions about applications, how do you apply, when do you apply. Andrews University has rolling applications, which means you can apply anytime, but the sooner you apply, the more time you have to work things out, like your finances, and make sure that we have all of your transcripts and everything. In order to apply, what you would do is you would go to the Andrews University webpage and follow the links. There's, I think, a pretty clear link for application if you actually want to apply. There's another question about whether or not you need a portfolio, and as an incoming freshman, you don't. We have several degrees that don't require portfolios, the BS degrees in design and in photography and the art education degree. Those degrees do not require portfolios to get into. The BFA degrees do require a portfolio, and the portfolio takes place at usually the end of your sophomore year. So you have a couple of years to create work before you have your portfolio review. Another question is about work and study. Can you work and study? And you absolutely can. Felicia is an example of somebody who is currently in a program here and who is also working. We have, as Doug mentioned, the design business, which is a great opportunity for really our best students to make a third more than anybody else on campus and to get real-world experience with what they're doing. Creating real designs for real clients, that is important. And a lot of students here at Andrews have jobs of one type or another. Have a question about the requirements for the scholarship, this $1,000 a semester scholarship. And the truth is that in order to get that, what you have to do is you have to come to Andrews and you have to declare a major in the Department of Visual Art, Communication, and Design. And you just heard that we have a lot of majors, a lot of really exciting majors. So anything from straight up communication, journalism, to design, to public relations, to documentary film, to fine art, to art education. I mean, so many different programs within our department that you could get a great job in the future. And all you have to do is come to Andrews first time at any college and say, I'm doing a major in the Department of Visual Art, Communication, and Design, and boom, you've got that scholarship. It's really cool. Dave, are you still there? Turn on your mic.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, somebody wants to know what the prospects are like for photographers.
Well, we have had almost 100% in the last 6 years. I think we've had one student that decided after they graduated they didn't want to do photography, and so they haven't applied anywhere. But other than that, every single student that has gone through the program and made it has gotten a job pretty quick after they've graduated.
That is awesome.
And they're almost all making more money than I am, starting out.
That's not as awesome. It's great for them. Doug, what would you say the prospects for graphic designers are like?
Really good. Actually, I mean, there's so many different jobs that you can get with just that undergraduate degree. With just a BFA degree or BS degree, either one of those undergraduate degrees, no further school needed, you can get all the jobs I talked about and a whole lot more. And because there's so many different niches for graphic design, and you can be a designer, a freelance designer, and do very well for yourself. I do a lot of freelance work even as a professor, and I don't even advertise, and I have too much work. I have to turn things away. So the design business is really good. The one thing is it's competitive. You've got to be good, and that's what I think we do really well here is we prepare you for that industry. We prepare you, we give you a great portfolio by the time you're out of here if you're willing to put the work in.
All right. Hey, Paul, what about film? How have our film graduates been doing? Don't forget to turn your mic, by the way.
Your mic's off.
Mic's off.
Sorry, excuse me. I should know all about Mike, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I can tell you actually about the sound quality in this room and how poor it is, but we won't go there. We're a relatively new program, so the people who started our program, the first few graduates out, this is the 4th year in and 3rd year on the bulletin. For people who've been out within the first year of graduation, I believe we've had 100% placement rate. So that's not like hundreds of students yet, because we haven't had that many people come through our program. But everybody who's graduated within the first year, I believe, have had a job in their field, in our field, in the field of film, television, broadcast, media. So, so far so good, and I'm not surprised by that. Film is massive. I don't know about 2016, but generally speaking, film has been like the 2nd biggest export in the American economy, which is the biggest economy in the world by far. So the kinds of jobs you can get out there in film are, I mean, they vary so much and so greatly that in many ways, anybody who's hardworking, and not everybody is, I recognize that, but anybody who's hardworking and has a great attitude, I mean, it's hard. You know, you're going to get work, and that's something I always talk to my students about. Is it's not just talent, and we certainly have a lot of that coming through here, and we certainly develop that, but your attitude and your work ethic are probably the two most important factors that will land you work. So if you think you're like the hottest thing, you know, around, you know, I think you still have something to learn here at Andrews, but we also like to talk a lot about your ethics, your approach to your trade and your craft, how to be a professional in your field. And in the case of film, there are so many different kinds of career paths, whether you're an editor, cinematographer, producer, which is more of a management type of a role. There's a lot of different kind of paths that one can take. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, I think we're nearing the end of an hour almost, so it must be just about time to go. I would like to say that we would love to hear from anyone that sees this, anyone who's watching now, or that views it on YouTube later. We would love to have you come and visit us. We enjoy chatting with people and talking about what we do. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have. We feel really strongly about the quality of the teaching that we have and the quality of the programs that we have, and that if you come here, there's this great chance you have to be a working artist. We don't use the term starving artist. We don't like to talk about that because our artists end up being working artists, and we're really proud of that. We have great graduates, we have great faculty, and we have this wonderful opportunity with this scholarship for students to choose Andrews, and I think to end up being really happy with their choice.
Today I was a starving artist because I was so busy working. I didn't eat at all.
Right. Yeah, I think that one of the things that we have at Andrews that a lot of other schools don't have is we care for the whole person. And so we care about our students mentally and spiritually, the whole package holistically. And we're available to talk, and we're available to mentor, and we really want our students to be successful in life. All right. I think, unless anybody else has any last words, that will do it for our Hangout. Maybe we'll get to hang out again at some point, but I'd like to sign off from the first Andrews University Department of Visual Art Communication and Design Hangout. This is Steve Hansen, Chair of the Department, saying goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.